25 years. We'll probably be doing our last show in 25 years. So I can't even imagine how I'll be able to bring my drone to work every day. Say 2050.
25 years, I still won't be able to shoot my age at the golf course.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.
5:23, folks. A lot of songs in that first little 20 minutes or so for folks. Alabama's Forever, As Far As I'll Go for Kathleen Roger Weber, celebrating 50 years.
I thought, 52, wasn't it?
I wrote 50.
Oh, 50?
So I don't know.
Well, it just could be 10. Seems like 50. Who knows?
Yeah.
They're traveling with us this year. Going to celebrate their anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Told them I'd buy them a drink. Mark and Paul, thank you so much for playing Music Box Dancer, one of my favorite songs. Mike says you're knocking it out of the park this morning, home run after home run. Hank wanted to hear Some Gave All for a friend he lost 18 years ago in Iraq.
Wow.
Yep. Something I still like to see. Younger people will call for a request, and I don't really understand that because you can just ask your phone to play any song, and it'll do it. But folks that are more closer to our age, to request a song seems to mean a little bit more. Reminds you of somebody that you've lost, a special occasion. This was our song at our wedding, that kind of stuff. So still try and play those whenever we can. 32 degrees out there this morning. Looking at the forecast, a special note for all you people who blow out sprinklers. Monday is going to be a very busy day on the phone for you because the overnight low going into Tuesday is going to be 29. And people who don't have their sprinklers blown out are going to freak out.
Yeah.
It's only 29. You'll be fine.
You don't have to worry about it. Your ground is still 55 degrees.
Right.
And we had 26 again this morning. I've had numerous frosts already at my place, so it's no biggie. And which was good because yesterday I could see the hit on the flowers, and I am grateful to God for the frost. So I could quit watering petunias and geraniums now. I can finally quit doing that.
Don't have to answer to your mom about where the flowers went.
That's right. I can finally tell her, Mom, it's been below freezing 3 nights now, and that's the end of the flowers. So I can drain that water tank and get that out. That's it's a stock tank I put under the gutter, and I save my water all summer and water flowers and bushes and stuff with it. So I can finally drain that, put that away for the winter, get that done.
One of the many jobs.
Yeah, well, today we're shipping calves, so none of that'll get done. So
right,
I'll have to leave a little early this morning, but get that handled. I had 2 stragglers yesterday that I missed from the day before when I was getting. They hide up in the trees and stuff, and it's the old ones. They know. It's funny. The old cows know, folks, and. They know the difference when you are on a nonchalant drive to check water or if you mean business. They automatically know the difference.
For you country people, it's like that. For city people, it's like when you try to get the dog in the car to go to the vet and he knows.
Exactly.
I'm not getting in there.
Exactly. Same thing. These were 2 older cows, a couple 9-year-olds that have their calf, and they know when the weather changes. They know what this time of the year is.
Right.
But it's time for their kids to move on, get out of the basement, go to college, start getting their grape soda and water bottles on their own.
Maybe meet somebody, get married, have a family.
There you go.
Have some calves of your own.
You say it's time we move in together, raise a family on our own, you and me, or something like that. Who sang that?
Carly Simon, the way it should be. Yeah.
That's the one I always had trouble with. Carly Simon and
Carole King.
Carole King.
Yeah.
I always screwed them up. So yeah, the older cows knew. So they gave me the slip the day before, but I got them in yesterday, and so we'll ship calves this morning and get them out of there, get that taken care of.
Well,
got a little vaccinating I got to do, that kind of thing.
I've been working with Paul a long time, and I grew up in Great Falls, Golden Triangle, but none of my friends were farmers or ranchers, so I didn't go out to places like that. And so, oh yeah.
There you go.
And I thought, when Paul tells stories like that, I used to think, how in the hell do you lose a cow? Come on, man.
Yeah.
And he had me bring my four-wheeler out a couple years ago to help move cows. And he took me to a piece of ground you can't see from anywhere but the air.
That's right. Now you know how they get lost up
Now I know
in
how
there.
cows get lost.
Yep, they get lost up in there. And they're smart. They dig in. Bulls are the same way in the summer. They'll dig in down there in a nice shady spot and don't want to get out, and you got to find them. But I had a couple in there a couple years ago, and hell, I didn't find them. I never did find them. And there was some guy out there that was hunting or doing something, and he said, hey, I saw 2 cows with 2 calves up in the hills. And I said, you did? Because, yeah, they're... And, I had shut all the water tanks off and everything.
Right.
I didn't know how they were fine. They were fine. So do that today. Take care of that.
Well, folks, didn't take long. The first lawsuit in the E. coli from the
I saw that.
McDonald's Quarter Pounders, first lawsuit filed yesterday in Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Well, you knew that was coming.
Oh, yeah.
The hot coffee thing started that all off years ago.
And that's people's lottery ticket.
Yeah. You find one toenail or something in your French fries, and then they sue. And
I got in a pretty heated argument with a friend many years ago. They were at a gas station here in town and slipped and fell on the ice. Well, I'm going to sue them. You're going to sue somebody for having ice on their sidewalk in December in Montana?
Because they're losers.
Right. Oh, and a second lawsuit filed in Nebraska. That's why the Mushaven Farms flatbed was at Wendy's yesterday.
That's right. That's right. Thought I'd whip in here and get a couple sandwiches. I have a busy day.
Mm-hmm.
No drink.
Nope.
No fries.
Nope.
Just 2 sandwiches is it. And
and we talked about that, I don't know, going back a couple years ago. And I get the drink because I get the drink. It's just, something I used to. You could probably get by without it. The colder months of the year, I keep bottles of water in the pickup so you got something to drink. I only really need about 5 or 6 French fries. And I just like it when you put the bag down, you just kind of munch on a couple of those while you're driving. Because I never finish my French fries.
Mm-hmm. Well, if prices keep going the way they are, Mark, someday you may have to order by the fry.
Yeah.
Someday a fry may be 15 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Do you want 10 of those? $1.50 for 10 French fries. You watch the way it's going. Who knows? But you knew the suit was coming.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's why it's too bad Paul isn't running for one of the Supreme Court seats. I could hear the commercials. Get that the hell out of my courtroom.
That's right. Don't sue because of a bad French fry or hamburger. It was caused by a common type of E. coli bacteria. Young children, particularly vulnerable. Older people with a weakened immune system. 50 have fallen ill. They range in age from 13 to 88. Bacteria common in the environment. Water, food, intestines of animals, intestines of humans. Gosh, I wonder where that came from in the onion fields.
Jeez.
And if things aren't washed properly, cleaned properly, anything like that. Health officials initially focused on the slivered onions and the beef patties. But the beef patties are an unlikely source because federal requirements require strict meat protocols for not only the beef, but for cooking it in the temperature that would kill all the bacteria. Onions, on the other hand, on their quarter pounders, we've all had one, they're raw onions.
Right.
They're not cooked, they're raw onions. Symptoms usually occur quickly, within a day or 2. That's the difference. People may think they have E. coli poisoning because they get it right away, but that's just food poisoning. That's not E. coli poisoning. Food poisoning takes 6 hours. All right, if you eat something bad in a restaurant or someplace, you're going to notice it by 6 hours. You're going to wake up at midnight and your eyes are going to go wide open and you're going to go, holy schmoly, I have got to get down to the hall quickly. That's food poisoning.
My bathroom is 12 feet away and that might be too far.
And you sit while you grab the garbage can.
Yeah.
Because you don't know the one pressure is going to cause the other gasket to leak. If you know what I'm talking about, folks.
I think we get it.
Okay. So that's food poisoning. E. coli causes 74,000 infections a year. 2,000 hospitalizations and 61 deaths. Food poisoning, on the other hand, are you ready for this? So E. coli is 74,000 people a year get it. Food poisoning, though, sickens at least 48 million people every year.
Wow.
In the United States. And folks, those are the only people that report it or they know of it.
Yeah, I've had it and didn't report it.
Yeah, exactly. Call a doctor. What can I do to stop? I've got a major breach.
I need a prescription for a cork.
I am having a rectal eclipse, if you know what I'm talking about.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
And here's the latest. A California produce company is the source of the onions linked to E. coli. Who called that last week? I called that. I told you what happened. They took a dump in an onion field, and it got on the onions or something. Could be an animal.
Yeah.
Other fast food restaurants across the nation pulled their onions. Taylor Farms out of Salinas, California, recalled them. U.S. Foods, which is a major wholesaler, restaurants across the country. They're the ones that supply stuff in our area. U.S. Foods. We only have 2 places here. Taylor Farms issued the recall this week for peeled, whole, and diced yellow onions for the potential contamination. The recalled onions came from a Taylor Farms facility that they have based in Colorado. Officials with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration did not confirm that the agency was investigating them. They're looking at all sources of the outbreak. In the meantime, the national restaurant chains temporarily stopped using fresh onions. We have removed the onions from places like Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC restaurants, according to Yum Brands. Yum Brands wouldn't say where the onions were removed or whether the company uses the same supplier or not, but they will follow the guidance from regulators and their suppliers. Restaurant Brands International, they own Burger King. They said 5% of their restaurants use onions distributed by Taylor Farms' Colorado facility. Burger King restaurants get deliveries of their fresh onions, but when they get them, their employees wash them, peel them, and slice them. Restaurant Brands said they weren't contacted by health officials, but they told their restaurants if they received them from the Colorado facility to get rid of them for 2 days before restocking from other suppliers. Chipotle, they said it doesn't source onions from Taylor Farms or any other ingredients from that Colorado facility, so they were okay. Onions have been implicated in previous outbreaks. In 2015, Taylor Farms recalled celery used in Costco's chicken salads because of E. coli. So somebody that works down on Taylor Farms who needs a break every half hour, you can pretty much pinpoint where this is coming from. You know what I'm talking about, Wilson. We've all seen it. Gee. So they had the celery that sickened people. One person died from salmonella poisoning triggered to diced onions from Grill's Onions. That one was out of Oxnard, California, and Jake lived there. E. coli produces a dangerous toxin. That's why it's so dangerous. So that's the latest on the E. coli outbreak, where it came from, what they did, and it should be over now. They know where it came from. They know all the restaurants that use their stuff. So that should be the end of that. Now, it will not be the end of the lawsuits.
Oh, no.
Because dog pile on the rabbit, folks. Once somebody files it, look. The evidence is right in front of you all the time. Stuff like that. Look at Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Look at Deshaun Watson.
Hell, Paul, they're out marketing for it. If you have been exposed to Roundup anytime in the last 30 years.
Yep, that's right. Please call us immediately. Once somebody piles on, they all pile on. Look at your president, Joe Biden. 7 different sexual assaults and harassment women came out, but we loved him. By the way, folks, do you know what a schmuck Kamala Harris's husband is? Have you heard about what a schmuck he is? Oh, I think I know why her name is still Kamala Harris and his is Doug Emhoff. I think I know why. And nobody is bringing this forward. Nobody's talking about it. No major news outlets are talking about what a piece of garbage this man is. He hit a woman that went out with him in France so hard. He slapped her so hard when they got out of a dinner getting into a limo or something to go home. She spun around and fell down on the ground. Witnesses, all kinds of things. Nothing. She knew at that point, she said that this man is evil and he has a major problem.
Wow.
This is Kamala Harris's husband, and everybody is treating him like he is just walks on water. Oh, he's going to be a first gentleman. Gentleman is what he is not, folks. This man is a piece. NBC, CNN, none of them talk. Where's the Me Too movement on this? No one. No one talking about what a schmuck this guy is. Kind of makes you wonder why Kamala Harris hasn't taken his last name. Melania, you know what Melania's last name is, Mark?
Yes, I do.
Trump. He is a piece of work. Garbage. They're covering for him. They're protecting for him. A wife beater. Not a wife beater, but a woman beater and abuser. A woman abuser and beater. Her guy. Her right-hand man. Oh, wonderful. And you ought to hear the media talk about this guy. And, folks, he is a piece of work. Where's KTVQ and Color 8? How come they haven't covered that yet? Oh, and by the way, isn't it nice that your anchors on those news stations are in John Tester commercials?
That is so inappropriate.
I thought they were fair. They're not fair.
No, I thought the same thing last night.
Isn't that something? You people are sick. You're supposed to be unbiased, balanced, fair.
Yeah, and you say it every newscast.
Yeah. How come you're not in any Tim Sheehy commercials?
Yeah.
If you're gonna be fair, right? What a piece. You people, you're hurting yourself. I hope you know that. You're hurting yourself. First of all, you're hurting your credibility as an unbiased news organization. You can throw that out the window. That's junk. Gone. You're not journalists. You're just a bunch of readers and company men. That's all you are. Shame on you. I wouldn't sacrifice my principles.
No.
If my owners would tell me, you have to start doing this and start, if you want to retain your job, and start approaching things from this political perspective. I'd say, screw that. I'm not doing that.
No.
But once again, it probably is their principles and their values.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So they have no problem with it. That's just sick. Mary Sheehy Schmo has another opinion in the paper today.
Speaking of bias, every Friday.
Yeah, I'm not even going to read her crap anymore. It's just crazy. And she's from over by Missoula. I got an idea, Gazette. Why don't you put somebody from the Billings area in your opinion page?
Exactly right.
Instead of the Missoula area, huh? Why don't you do that? Have them have a weekly column every day. Pick somebody. Well, I'll give you somebody. Pick somebody like a Dave Rye.
Yeah.
He was here. Why don't you pick him? He was in news and all this other crap.
State legislator?
Yeah, let him put one in every day. No, we're going to pick Mary Sheehy Schmo from Missoula and put her in there every day. 44 people in Montana died from influenza last year. It's funny, the year of COVID, not one person in Montana ever died from influenza. We never had one reported case of influenza. That was remarkable, wasn't it, folks?
Yes.
Another press cover-up, huh? Another one where we got the information right on COVID early on because of the information that was put out by the inventor of the vaccine.
Right.
And your stations that support John Tester and others, none of them would cover it. Why? We were called killers, all kinds of stuff. And now we know. And we were right. 98 people died from COVID, they said, in Montana from October of last year to October of this year. Now, were any of those 98 people compromised, or was COVID the main cause? Were they perfectly healthy? They were doing exercise shows on television for senior citizens. 1, 2, 1, and then they got COVID and died? Or were their immune systems compromised? They're suffering from diabetes, emphysema, they were overweight, they were on oxygen. Was it the COVID, or was it a contributing factor? They're not going to tell you that. If they had COVID in their system, then they list it as a COVID death. When I die, if they do a blood test, they're going to find I died from peanut butter poisoning. Because I'm going to have peanut butter in my blood, Mark.
I know.
Peanut butter poisoning. Vaccination is the best form of protection against these diseases, according to the Department of Health. No, it's not.
No.
Now they know natural immunity is far better than fake immunity.
Right.
They're continuing to carry the torch here. Updated COVID-19 vaccines are recommended for everybody 6 months and older, now available. 6 months. 6 months. I know somebody had to go to Denver to get their heart checked, and they've got heart problems, and the doctors down there told them it was related to the COVID-19 vaccine. Seeing a lot of that. If you want to get it, folks, get it. It's your body. Inject in it what you want. But they shouldn't be able to tell you. See, Democrats are Democrats. That's why they're Democrats. They want a woman to have the right to choose what to do with their body, but the rest of you, here's a big flying finger for you. Well, that's what they're saying, Mark. We will tell you what you will get in your body, and if you don't, you're going to be fired, lose your job, your home, your children, everything.
Your body, your choice sometimes.
That's right. Give me that. Article today on the two nut jobs running for Supreme Court, Bittigary and others making their case. This is just so unbelievable, these news organizations that we have here. It's crazy. Oh, here you go. Now, they do put some good things in the paper, and I'll give them credit when they do, because there are some insightful things in there. Like, for instance, when they covered the proficiency ratings at our schools, graduation rates. I loved it. That was great reporting. They've been trying to get a Chick-fil-A in Helena, and it's failed 3 permit reviews. They want to open on Washington Street right next to the Nagoya Japanese Steakhouse and Chili's. Paperwork goes all the way back to last year, but parking lot and site improvements holding it up. Once again, they hold a gun to your head. Keep in mind, our city administrative building downtown does not have enough parking spots for the people that work in there.
No, nor does our new federal courthouse.
None of that kind of stuff. They all get bypassed. Walmart had to remodel eastern Montana before they build in the Heights. Remember that, Wilson?
We're going to pick the color. You're going to pay for the sidewalks. You're going to improve the intersections.
Natural tone,
right.
All the side tree, everything in that whole area held a gun to their head. After the building permit was approved for Chick-fil-A in Helena, they had a laundry list of things to do before they could build. Adjusting the curbs, all kinds of stuff up there. It'd be the 5th Chick-fil-A in Montana, with locations in Billings, Bozeman, Missoula, Kalispell, and there are also plans for a Chick-fil-A in Butte. They have 3,000 restaurants in 48 states. Chick-fil-A would be the latest addition to Helena's fast food offerings. Folks, Helena has nothing. Helena is, I keep telling you all the time, if only Grand Forks were where Helena was, it'd be great. Because Grand Forks has no scenery.
I got friends in Helena who say, when are you going to come visit? I said, and do what?
They got a Panera bread, but it's just, and it's a shame because it's such a beautiful area, right in the middle of the mountains. And Canyon Ferry Lake is there.
You should go see the Gates of the Mountains.
Gates of the Mountains, that's pretty.
And the museum there, that's neat. Now that you've seen the inside of our Capitol building on Yellowstone, you should see that.
Yeah, people never saw it till it was on Yellowstone, probably.
Right.
That's a great point. Because that's so much what Montana is like.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
I keep getting these ads for golf balls popping up on my screen, Wilson. Callaway Super Soft. Isn't that what you use?
That's our brand, buddy.
That's why they keep popping up.
Get the green ones.
Yeah. Bill Clinton, he's out campaigning, commented on the Phoenix election and called Carrie Lake physically attractive.
Oh, my God.
She's running again. There's all kinds of problems popping up with drop-off boxes and things. Down in Denver, I was listening to KOA this morning. Mark has a good friend that works there, and I've known her for years down there. She wasn't on this morning, but they caught some guy down there that dropped off tons and tons of absentee ballots, and they caught him because because none of the signatures match the signatures that were on file.
Okay.
They're pressing charges against the kid here in Montana that was seen trying to rip the box off of the wall.
Outstanding.
By the way, do you think all these people are Democrats or Republicans?
You
Which
already
one?
know. Yeah.
You don't hear stories of Republicans stealing ballots, ripping boxes off the wall. You don't hear any? Why? Why is that, folks? Why is that? Let's see here. Can't find what I'm looking for. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Well, I got a lot on my mind today with all these getting rid of my calves and stuff today. And
Back to your thing about the Chick-fil-A, there was somebody at one of our sister stations in Great Falls wrote an article about why Great Falls doesn't have an Olive Garden.
oh yeah,
First one is Olive Garden rule. You got to have 100,000 people in your town. Great Falls has 60,000.
is that what the rule is?
That's what they said in the article.
Huh? Wow, 100,000.
100,000. Well, it's like I've talked about. It's the reason the Heights doesn't have more of the national change, because the Heights is its own area up there, not included with Billings.
Mm-hmm.
But also in Great Falls, if you get around to adding 40,000 people and you want to put in an Olive Garden, you're going to need a place with 135 parking places.
Oh, this is what I was looking for because you folks aren't going to hear it about what a schmuck Doug Emhoff is, Kamala Harris's husband, and none of the major news media outlets, not only the ones around the nation, but the ones that are here in Billings that are fair. You know, they'll cover anything negative about Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Or Tim Sheehy, not about Doug Emhoff. Second gentleman Doug Emhoff's ex speaks out about the 2012 assault at the Cannes Film Festival. She said, quote, "I saw his dark side."
Wow.
She left embarrassed and humiliated after he slapped her so hard after a gala dinner at the Cannes Film Festival in France and spun her around. Now, Kamala Harris says it's fabricated. Kamala Harris was the one at the debate with Joe Biden that said every woman needs to be believed. Remember that, Mark?
Quite clearly.
But this one. Everyone but this one. She was trying to hand a valet $100 to get her and Emhoff a taxi when he hit her. She said, "I'm talking to him. He got out of line. He comes up, turns me around by my right shoulder. I'm completely caught off guard. I wasn't bracing. I'm on 4-inch heels. I was wearing a full-length gown. It was about 2 a.m. He slaps me so hard that I spin around and I'm in utter shock."
Wow.
Now, this is available in the New York Post, folks, if you want to check it out. Credible newspaper. There had been no fight. There was no argument. She said, "In that moment, his mask dropped and I saw his dark side." 3 friends of her came forward this month with allegations against Emhoff. 3 of her friends. 2 of them heard immediately about him hitting her after the incident. What's frightening for a woman that's been on the other end of it is watching this completely fabricated persona being portrayed about Doug Emhoff. So she decided, I have to speak and get this on the record so people know. He's being held out to be the antithesis of who he actually is, and it's utterly shocking. Now, of course, Emhoff vehemently denied the accusations. They met in 2012 while she was residing in New York. He was in L.A. They went on a first date in March of that year. He invited his oldest son to join him. In retrospect, it should have been a red flag. She described their fling as an intense few months. He flew me to L.A. I stayed in his home for a week. The entire time, he was alluding to marriage and having children with me. Totally love-bombing me. Grabbed me around the stomach, said he wanted more babies. By the way, she is a current registered Democrat, and they backed President Biden in the elections. She's a Democrat, and she came out with this. After he struck her, allegedly, during this booze-filled night, she was stunned. The only thing I could think was to slap him back. So I slapped him on one side and on the other cheek with the other hand. All of a sudden, the car's there, and the valet is ushering me in. I intended to go back to the hotel without him, so I was shutting the car door, and he forced his way into the car. I didn't want him in my car. She was embarrassed and humiliated, thinking, I can't believe he just slapped me.
Wow.
What the hell is wrong with you? Why did you do that? She said. The only thing he said was, I thought I was hitting the valet. During the car ride, she reached out to a friend immediately. She was scared to death. I don't blame her. That person was one of 3 different sources to corroborate her account of what happened. Yep, folks, this is Kamala Harris's guy, the guy that's going to be in your White House. And is he fine now? Possibly. Did he ever hit Kamala? Probably not. But how come all of this is being kept from people in America when any single thing dirt-related on the other side is exploited?
Absolutely.
How about that, KTVQ? You're the ones that are in John Tester commercials. Why don't you talk about the $60,000 that he spent in restaurants in Washington? $3,000 on high-end booze, all those kind of things over the last few months, eating, wining, and dining people. How about that? Is that an average? Does the average, he's Montanan. Does the average Montanan spend 60 grand on that? No. Why don't you talk about that if you're fair and balanced? Because you're not. You're in bed with the rest of them. This big liberal orgy. The woman said, she told me the whole story. He then said, it's no big deal, yelled at her. He never said he hit her, but he said he did get really angry with her. She said she'd just met both his children. Also added that Emhoff revealed that he had gotten her to agree to an $80,000 settlement with Najin Naylor. Najin Naylor was the woman that Doug Emhoff cheated on when he was married to his first wife, Kirsten Mackin. Now, listen to this story, folks, about Emhoff. She agreed to an $80,000 non-disclosure agreement as part of the settlement. Now, where's his trial, DOJ? Where's his trial on non-disclosure agreements? Non-disclosure agreements are legal. The day after the slap, Jane claimed Emhoff was unapologetic and suggested that the two were even because she had slapped him back. A week later, after confiding with a friend who previously worked with him at a law firm, she said, this man has a bad reputation with the women there. He was inappropriate towards female colleagues. In a 2019 lawsuit, they had charged that Emhoff hired an assistant named Katya, who was widely considered unqualified at the law firm, but was young, attractive, and friendly with powerful men in the office. Do I need to go on anymore about this?
Wow.
These people that are going to be in your White House, folks. But it doesn't matter. Bill Clinton, look what he did. He carried on.
Yeah, and did just fine.
And he won re-election.
Yeah.
Emhoff raised another red flag with Jane prior to the dinner after which the assault took place. We went outside once, sat on loungers. I'm in a bikini. He wanted to take a picture of me. I didn't think anything of it. Later on, he sent me a couple of pictures. The picture he took of me did not include my head.
Oh, my God.
Just giggling about it. She said it was gross. I felt humiliated. During an interview on NBC's This Morning show, he had dismissed what they had called tabloid stories about your personal life. The New York Post, folks, tabloid stories. He said it's just a distraction. The next day, he sat down with current MSNBC host Jen Psaki. You know, she used to work for Biden at the White House. She was a spokesman. She praised him as a wife guy. He has reshaped the perception of masculinity. This is what they're doing, folks. Cover your ass. That's what they're doing for this guy. Now, folks, look, we all know about these stories. We all know things here and there. It's different. It's different if there's just one and it's a he said, she said thing, and it's a bitter love breakup or something.
Right.
That's different. But when you have multiple, that's a flag.
Yeah.
She said, I keep telling this story to my friends, and I keep saying, this is a big deal, and why doesn't anybody in the media care? Now, keep in mind, folks, this woman is a Democrat. She voted for Biden and supported his campaign. Not a single reporter, she said, has directly asked Doug Emhoff about these allegations. When news organizations re-reported your reporting, they even left out the claim that the teacher had become pregnant. I'm so disgusted. She said, here's what she goes, you know, really, in retrospect, this was the best thing that could have possibly have happened to me, because then his mask dropped, and I realized I shouldn't waste another moment of time with this man.
Good for her.
So there you go, folks. Reported in the New York Post about your potential first gentleman that is going to be in the White House. Stuff that Russ Riesinger and all the other ones at KTVQ or your Billings Gazette or others that are doing John Tester commercials and that they will not cover. They won't cover. Boy, they covered the Donald Trump Stormy Daniels story.
Major news story with January 6th.
But they didn't cover the Joe Biden Tara Reid story.
No.
None of that kind of stuff, folks. Fair, accurate. My ass should be after the end of two of those words for them. But I don't know. I just thought maybe you folks would want to know about the other half of the people you're going to put in the White House. There's no place for people like that. I don't care what party you are.
No.
I don't care. Anybody that abuses children, abuses women like that, you're on my list. You know that place I was talking about that you said you had no idea where you were at? I'm saving that place, Mark. I'm saving that place.
That's a good place.
Okay.
Nope, officer. Haven't seen it. First news coming up, 6:14.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.